What is up, Scarlet, bringing you a Scarlet and Violet breakdown video. This is trailer number 3, and originally I was gonna do like an hour video of the original recording, and I ultimately decided on separating them, and that's what I did here today. So yeah, and from the last trailer, from number 2, I did forget to add a couple characters, so I'll be doing that in the beginning right here, and we'll go on forward with the trailers. So let's just go cover the characters, because those characters are Professor Sada and Turo. For the first time in the series, one of the two different professors will appear in your game depending on the versions you choose to play. In Pokemon Scarlet, you will meet Professor Sada, and in Pokemon Violet, you will meet Professor Turo. Each is carrying out research into certain lore passed down in the region. And it's interesting because you kind of see the background, it's like exactly the same with the drawings and all that. And yeah, this girl right here is Nimona. Your friend Nimona has a sunny and energetic disposition, and she absolutely loves Pokemon battles. She's an experienced Pokemon trainer and serves as a reliable guide for you on your adventures. She has undisputed skill in battle, though it does also seem that she's not the best at throwing Pokeballs. But yeah, whether it's Scarlet or Violet, she will wear the uniforms according to the version that you're playing, of course. And yeah, and I'm showing her because she's actually owns the 3 Pokemon according to the website. She owns Palmy, Lechonk, and Smoliv. Okay, so starting with the trailer, we see Growlithe and Arcanine, so they are confirmed in the game. And I don't know if the Hisuian forms are gonna be in the game or whatnot, but we shall see, because, you know, never say never. But they're hopping in the grass, and the cool thing is that they all have their own separate animations. They're doing their own starts and stops. I think that's really cool, and it's in the tall grass and everything. For this screenshot, it's kind of interesting that Deerlings and Sawsbucks are here, because they're very seasonal Pokemon. Depending on the season is depending on both Deerling and Sawsbuck. So I'm not really sure how it's implemented in this game, but you see them right here, so both of them, of course, are confirmed. Along with Houndour and Houndoom, we also see that tall tower up on the left looking like the Teen Titans building. And this right here is a new friend of ours. This is Paldean Wooper, and yeah, I never said the region name, but the region name is Paldea, so this is very much what is called on the different variant. It is a Paldean Wooper, a poison fish Pokemon. The typing is poison ground type. It is 1'4", 24.3 pounds, poison point, and water absorb for its ability. They live on the land and cover their bodies with a poisonous film. In ancient times, Wooper lived underwater in the Paldea region, but it seems after losing in a struggle for territory, they began living in bogs of land. To keep from drying out while living on land, they began to cover their bodies with a poisonous film. Powerful poisonous liquid emits from their tough gills. These Wooper's gills have hardened thanks to living on land for so long. Their bodies are heavy and they move slowly, but they can protect themselves by shooting powerful poisonous liquid from their gills. You may see poison Pokemon in areas where these Wooper live. Oh, that'd be interesting if you go in the overworld and you actually see this happening. Like there's a Wooper right next to a poison Growlithe, for example. I don't know if Growlithes are close enough in their territory for that, but just for the sake of example, I really like that this Wooper right here is hopping across. And then we got right here Snorunt, which is confirmation that Glalie and Frostlass is in the game. Along with these Gyarados, where we kind of already knew that Magikarp is like in every game, even in Black and White, because they give you as a gift Pokemon after game, so there's that. Swimming across the water, which is pretty cool. Along with some Murkrows and this Honchkrow, so they're confirmed in the game. Then we see this Cathedral right here from a front view. The interesting thing is there's this place to the left and there's this place to the right, which I think is kind of a reference to what you might meet, which is Professor Sada, Professor Turo. Because on the left it kind of looks more primitive, it looks like a straight up tree. They keep it up with the ancient times, and yeah, they're very traditional. And as for the right, who knows, maybe this is an observatory, because there's like a slit where the telescope could come out to look in the sky or whatnot, and it could be a very technically advanced place. I just don't understand why they're not like an equal level, because like if it is a aspect of like past and future, wouldn't they be like leveled the same? I don't get why those are lower. Or maybe they don't have any connection at all and this is just an observatory just on the right, and I'm just like speculating. But that is kind of interesting that the tree is there nonetheless. But something I never mentioned, that this place right here is in fact the Academy, depending on what version you play. If you're playing Scarlet, you're going to be in Naranja Academy, and if you're in Violet version, you're going to be in the Uva Academy. A lot of people are saying that the Uva Academy, the UVA, stands for Ultraviolet Academy, which, who knows, it might be correct. I don't know. I mean, people are saying obviously, but I don't think they're gonna throw in the ultraviolet yet. Well, I could tell you a good old fact right here. Naranja stands for, no acronym really, a non-joke. Anyway, I don't know, I thought that was a good joke. Anyway, this section right here covers subtitle voiceovers, which I don't know why they text and they put it this way, and there's no voices within the game. They just kind of added it. Of course, it says attention please, and then you see that this guy's talking to Oli, the Naranja Academy. And you kind of see some teachers, I believe, standing there with one with the Hariyama down there. You see the Scarlet character reacting and also the Violet character reacting. And now, as it says, today we begin, you see that now this person is wearing purple because this is the Violet version. He is very much talking to the Uva Academy. And you see that all they have like distinct looks to them, like, you know, they sometimes have like a lime green vest or a black jacket or whatnot. So yeah, there's that. And then it cuts to like the legendary Pokemon kind of looking different, because like we saw them before and they had like the big gill, at least Koraidon does, and now it's a bit more normal, and you'll kind of understand why. Let's just, you know, continue. But you also see Miraidon here. I keep saying Miraidon like he has a O right next to the M. It's Miraidon. But this is the beach area. This is very early in the game. So I think what happens is, because I might as well just show part of the map, because I was going to do a map breakdown, but like if you just take a look at the map, right where the orange house and the purple house is, like where the character starts his journey, there's like a little beach area with a Pokemon battle arena, and back here I believe is where you meet the legendary Pokemon, because they're just waiting here. And I think the way it begins, like once you go to the purple house, I feel like for some reason that your family member or someone that you know is going like, oh, I have a friend waiting for you, you know, just try to greet it and hopefully things will work out and it'll help you on your journey or something like that. I just feel like somebody did you a favor and go like, you know, talk to my friend, and is telling you to talk to the Pokemon, because like Koraidon's a Pokemon of tradition and all that, and I feel like he'd be very loyal if it's the son or something, like if it's the mom's companion at one point. It's go like, oh, you know, take care of my son, and it's good already. Because it's kind of random that it's just here at the beach. It doesn't feel like it's a Pokemon in a beach setting at all, if that makes sense. Anyway. But yeah, this guy that we keep seeing is Clavel. He acts as the director of the academy, and since you're a new student, he will teach you many things about your school. He can be strict, but he can also be kind. He seems to be a friend of Professor Sada and Professor Turo. And he has a Premier Ball waist belt, so that's interesting. You know, every now and then I like using the Premier Ball, but you know, there's always that one person that does do that. But of course, depending on the version you play, whether it's Scarlet, he'd be wearing orange, and if it's Violet, he's wearing purple. And I do think honestly that he looks better in purple anyway, and I gotta get an evil sense about him. There's something very ominous, maybe not ominous, but there's something sinister. I don't know what the right word is. There's some in between word between ominous and sinister, but he feels evil. I feel like he has something that's very untrustworthy about him, because right here he's saying the treasure hunt, and you know how I mentioned about the conspiracy thing, even though that's not the team and we saw the broken star fragments, but there's still that conquistador aspect where like they're very money hungry, like looking for the treasure hunt. And I feel like there is a storyline with the director forcing his students to find the treasure for him because he wants the treasure for himself. Like I feel like that's an aspect of it. But that's one of the storylines. Besides the gym storyline, this is the treasure hunt storyline, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, the treasure hunt. And we see Koraidon and Miraidon, with Koraidon screaming right here, Miraidon kind of pacing around. I really do like the look of it because it looks like a very strong horse, even though it's clearly a lizard. But it's walking around judging this character just to see if it's worthy enough to be companions with them. And you see that Koraidon and Miraidon are very zoomed in, and I think it's because it accepted that trainer to be his companion. And I really like the Miraidon has like pixelated LED lights for eyes. I think that's really cool. But yeah, here's the Violet director, travel across Paldea. And yeah, surprise, you can actually ride these Pokemon. I didn't realize they were fucking bikes, but apparently so. I was wondering why it has like a big ass gill to it, but I mean, it is a lizard, and there's a lot of lizards to them that has like gills that are there. You know, they do it and they expand and all that. You'll notice very quickly something funny about Koraidon. There's something also to note that the gates are orange as well, so you could tell that this is Scarlet. That'll be important later because you could distinguish the two, whether it's Scarlet or whether it's Violet, as we go throughout the trailers. There's the animations on us going on the Pokemon. So Miraidon, honestly, it is a lot cooler. It's literally a motorcycle bike from the future. Like the wheels are like the Tron, or like the Tron, you know what I mean? Like it's Tron based. It's really cool. But yeah, purple gates, just as a good note, just keep that in mind. So yeah, before I get into what we're seeing on the left, Girafarig is confirmed in the game, but for some reason Koraidon doesn't even drive. Like he doesn't use his wheels, he just runs, which is a bit strange because it's like, why even have the wheels at all? Because I feel like you could have designed it differently, because a lot of people I've seen, I mean me included, I mean not really so much that I give a shit, I just feel like you could have designed the wheel to be more of a fin rather than a wheel, because people will think that's a legit wheel, because I know it's not. It's just a gill. It probably flaps around or something, but there is pages that show you on Koraidon like if you're riding them like a motorcycle, but you're not, because this is the running mode. Yeah, because I'm gonna put it on screen. Like you literally see him as a straight up bike, but he never uses the wheels in game, because I would have been fine had he not had the wheels, because I think it is kind of cool that like in ancient times people use this to run around and climb mountains and stuff and whatnot, and Miraidon is the complete opposite. Like he's so advanced that you literally use them like a spy vehicle, you know, practically. So I don't know, I feel like you could have at least used the wheel to be a climb device. Like if you're going up on a mountain, like that gill could go directly into the earth and drive you up forward, similar to the rock climb mechanic. Or even as you're going downhill, you could use the gill to go be the opposite of a land shark, except you're above land obviously, but you're using the gill underneath the earth to just slide you forward. I don't know if you know what I mean, just basically reverse rock climb is what I'm saying. But you also see like Miraidon in town, so unlike Legend Arceus, because from my understanding you can't use the noble Pokemon in the towns or whatever, but you clearly see Miraidon over here going through the town without a problem. I don't know if you could go on buildings and whatnot, because you'll kind of find out why I say that, but you could take a look at the stores right here. I think there was like a hat with words on it, so I don't know if that was just like another variation of like a clothes store, but I'm not sure, because I don't know, I kind of think of X and Y, like every other store there's like different clothes that aren't compared to other cities or whatnot. Gets another region. Thanks, Scarlet Clavel. We see another angle of Koraidon going past here, right next to the Red Mountains, with the Sawsbug right next to it, which we already confirmed. But I should note that this is the summer variation. The other one that we saw was the fall variation, so that's why I'm not sure how the seasons work. Maybe it's just depending on what area you are, because this is very much a grassy area. Maybe that's why it's the summer variant with the green leaves that are, I want to say, rich or something. I don't know, maybe there's something to do with the areas alone. We see Miraidon jumping over these Mareep and Flaffy, and they're going really close to these Pokemon, might I add. But that's what I mean about the rock climb mechanic, because you kind of just see Koraidon just scaling up the wall. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that lizard from Star Wars Episode 3, the one that sounds exactly like Palkia. That's what it reminds me of. And here's another feature that Koraidon and Miraidon could do. They have a gliding feature, which as long as you go up on the mountain, you kind of go up, he like flaps out his wings, and then you glide for a long period of time. And again, honestly, I do think Miraidon looks cooler, because it's literally a jet bike at this point, because he has his laser fins going out and he has his turbines shooting out, and it does look so much cooler. You literally look like you're flying in a freaking bike. It's dope. I like it. I'm still getting Scarlet anyway, but I think it's really cool. But with Koraidon, I do like that it's like with the wings and with his feathers kind of going through the wind and all that. I do like that a lot. I think I do like Koraidon's gliding feature a lot more than his running feature. That's for damn sure. I think it's because it just looks funny, him running with his tires or whatnot. It's the equivalent when back then I walked my bike. They're like, get on your bike. I'm like, I can't. And they're like, why? My tire's flat, stupid. I would be on my bike if I was able to get on my bike or whatever. I don't know. I hate it when that happens. I always flat my tires. Anyway, let's continue. In the abundant nature. As Koraidon's going through this grass, you see Skittles and Go-Goats. So they're confirmed in the game. That's good. And Miraidon's going through the water, which would have been cool if water Pokemon came out. We know that they can, because we saw the Gyarados. But I don't know if the other water Pokemon can, if they just jump up and go back down like in Fortnite when you're like fishing or whatever. When you see like the watering holes. But we see Koraidon going through up like this mountain to go in this cave. And we see Dreadnought right here. I think I see something at the left. I can't really tell what it is. I thought I saw some type of Pokemon, unless it was a rock. And we see Qfin right here, which means the evolution of that will be there. And I was gonna mention, like, because Dreadnought was there, that he has the Gigantamax form. But I really don't think they're gonna be in the game. Like, no Dynamax or Gigantamax. You know, I wish there was Mega Pokemon still, but, you know, that's fine. But you can see the snowy mountains in the background. So yeah, this is what I mean about the whole gas station thing, because you see Koraidon moving up to the Pokemon Center and taking a stop. Besides that, there's like a mini Pokemart, and there's like a PC, and there's also like the wireless thing to connect with like up to 3 other players. Like if you go on the yellow pad, the 3 other players would spawn there. So there's that. I forget what the advertisement was. I just know that a lot of people thought that that was like the Applin evolution right there, but it turns out it isn't. It's just like a block of just whatever. But yeah, there was Quillfish at some point. I don't know if it was on one of these advertisements. And a lot of people think that this looks like the silhouette of Gary, you know, but there's that. I forget what the other things were. There was like other advertisements, but like there's that certain screenshots. I'll take a look at it when I get the chance. The Rich Culture, Naranja Academy, and Uva Academy. And inside, this is the Scarlet version, because you could tell by that Naranja symbol, the orange symbol, if you still don't really get it clear enough. But yeah, Psyduck is here. He's the librarian, so you better be quiet or else you could give him a headache. With some people looking throughout the books. I don't really know what these black poles are, because they kind of look random as hell, but they're on both sides right here. This is your classroom, or at least one of them. Here's Sunflora, but it's just a statue, so we're gonna hold off on the confirmations on Sunkern and Sunflora for now, but this is the town that has the gym in it, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure is a grass gym. This town, I have no idea where it's at. I want to say, I almost said east. I'm starting to think it's west, because like something about the sunset and like the mountains in the background really tells me it's around that area. But there's the meow symbol. There's like all kinds of restaurants throughout this little town, and I really like the, I want to say ribbons. I don't know what that shit's called. I forgot. I'm like brain farting. But you know, the red, yellow, and green. I like that it's up there. That's honestly a great shot. I really like how that place looks when it's light up in the night. It looks really dope. The Pokemon, as this girl's like with fletchlings. And we get introduced to yet another Pokemon. This is Fido. He is a great Pokemon. I love this thing. Now, Fido's a really interesting Pokemon to talk about, because when it comes to Fido, it is the puppy Pokemon, a fairy type, 1 foot tall, 24 pound, own tempo ability. Fido, the bred puppy Pokemon. I mean, that's not what it says. It just says puppy Pokemon, but this is literally bred, and I think I love it. The funny descriptions of it is hilarious to me. This Pokemon has a moist, smooth feeling to it. Fido's moist, smooth skin has elastic qualities and is both firm and soft at the same time. When these Pokemon become excited, they intimidate their opponents by puffing up their bodies to appear bigger. Oh, I really want to see that. Like, either in the anime or whatever. I would love to see that. Its breath contains useful yeast. Fido ferments things in its vicinity using the yeast in its breath. said yeast is useful for cooking, so this Pokemon has been protected by people since long ago. This Pokemon is a puppy bred Pokemon, and it helps with cooking, but it's also bred. I feel like there's gonna be an animation where something literally eats this thing, but at the same time I love it. I don't know. I feel like when it evolves, it's just gonna be like a stack of bread, like all in a row, and it's gonna be super puffy, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh man, I forgot. I didn't even mention. So for the Paldean Wooper, I don't remember if the leak says that the Paldean Wooper will become something completely different. Honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't, at least not yet, because I do want to see basically a chocolate Quagsire. I want to see a Paldean Quagsire that looks like, you know, a regular Quagsire, but similar to a Paldean Wooper, if that makes sense, like a brown Quagsire that's poison ground type. I want that. And if there was a new evolution or something, that I hope it comes after Quagsire, like make something more of it similar to Obstagoon, because I don't know, I love Quagsire, and seeing a chocolate Quagsire, just I feel like it'll make me happy. So I really want to see it, goddammit. But yeah, you see little Fido just sitting there next to Nan. I don't know what her name is, but I'm sure she cooks bread because there's a bunch of bread on the left. There's a Slaking along with Vigoroth there, so it is confirmed that the 3 stages are there, so that's along with Slackoff, so that's good. Cacnea and Cacturn are confirmed. Donphan and Phanpy are confirmed, which is interesting because like the other elephant group is here. I kind of wonder if they ever fought each other. I don't know if that's an anime episode yet, but it'd be interesting. And it is official that Dratini is in this game, because I was going to hold that off because it was a statue. I didn't want to speak too soon, but it is confirmed. There's Dratini, Dragonair, and Dragonite in this game, in the lake area no less. So yeah, I do like that a lot. For the Vigoroth and Slaking, they're in like the dry grass area, so I'm not 100% sure where that is. I want to say that's where the Fall Saws books are. But yeah, these two are obviously in the desert. For Donphans though, I don't know where on the mountain that would be, because on the map, if you ever seen it, that place is fucking huge. For the Dragonairs, I don't know if it's just a simple river, but this looks like a lake to me, so there's that. Besides Fletchling being there, Pinecone is confirmed in the game, so that means Fortress is also in the game. Miss Drevis and Miss Magius are here in this tall grass area in the nighttime. Cupchew and Beartick are confirmed in the game in the snowy area. Pikachu, and you see both variations of Pikachu, female and male, in the dry grass area. It's kind of next to this big mountain. Well, there's 2 sides to it actually. I saw the mountain side on the right. And the people. And you can't fool me, Pachirisu, I see you. I'm pretty sure I missed the screenshot where like Starly was within shot when I saw those Swablues, but it's okay, it's fine. But we see these kids jumping around, and I do kind of like that neat touch with the Pokeball with the plants out of it, so that's pretty dope. But yeah, Pachirisu in the game. You kind of see another angle of Pachirisu there. I almost missed you, Swablu. I saw you. I see you over there, okay? But yeah, with this other shot of Pachirisu, we see the Driftlins, which are already confirmed. And this guy shopping, well, window shopping. He's just staring at the window. But we know he bought something. That's good. And inside this deli store, like the Subway store, I'm not really sure. But this Pokemon's here, so he's confirmed. So that's good. But yeah, the Scarlet Trainer's here, so that's interesting. So here is one of the teachers. I guess this is the PE teacher. I'm pretty sure she's the one that has the Hariyama. If not, then I don't know. And then there's this guy, like Luigi and Waluigi had a kid, and that kid became like, I don't know what to call it, but basically just got handsome Squidward on. I don't know, I think he's cool. And then there's this one, I assume is also a teacher. I do find interesting that this teacher's just out in the grass, because clearly the other 2 teachers were in the academy. And then there's this karate guy. I don't know what this karate dude's doing in the snow, but I'm pretty sure if you talk to him, he's like, oh, I'm training and trying to do my body condition or something like that. And we see this new type of trainer, unless there was, I'm trying to remember if there was a graffiti artist, because I know that they're punk like hoodlums that like use graffiti, but I don't think there's been specifically a graffiti artist. I could be very much wrong. But we'll get back to this guy in the future, because I want to note something about him. I mean, what I will say about this teacher right here, I do see the windmills or the turbines, whatever they're called, and I do see the snowy mountain in the background, so I could kind of assume it's somewhat in the northwest, a little bit. As for the graffiti artist, I see the mountainside and I see a little bit of snow, so I think it's a bit somewhat east, almost northeast, possibly. I don't really know. Actually, yeah, I do think it's northeast. I'll say why later. But then there's this guy. I believe this is a Pokemaniac. I really like his jacket because you see Dragonite, unless that's a Charizard. No, it's a Dragonite. Or is it? But there's also Kangaskhan, Miraidon, and Gyarados, which is really cool. I wouldn't wear it in public, but it is a cool vest nonetheless. Where will you go, says this guy. Well, I forgot to mention that the Pokemaniac is clearly in the desert, and you see like the slanted temple in the background. I don't know what that is. Where will you go? And you see the Scarlet Trainer approaching the gates for the Naranja Academy. Yeah, with the Psyduck to the right, which we already confirmed, and a Rockruff to the left, which means that we get all the evolutions with all the forms and stuff. Here's another Scarlet Trainer going through, and this is the Snow Gym clearly, because it's the similar boat sail symbols as like the Grass Gym. There's like a snowman to the right. I do know something ahead that will happen. Just remember this scene pretty much with the gym and like, I guess these are sails and light posts. I think that's a nice touch. As you see, this is the Violet Trainer on Miraidon going towards this place, which I had said before because this is the broken shattered star before with the fire, that I believe this is the evil team. Now, as I mentioned before, I think depending on what version you're playing, like if you're playing Scarlet, they're gonna be all about the future. If you're playing Violet, they're gonna be about the past. They're about tradition and all that. Because for some reason, I get the vibe that like this is a lot more primitive or something like that. And I could be very well wrong, but I don't know, I just get that vibe. This looks like a whole barrier place where they're like, oh no, let's not keep intruders. We want to keep all our stuff to ourselves or whatnot. So here's the stone tower in the grassy area. We know that there was one at the desert area instead. You can see a ladder going up to it as well on either or side. With this tower though, I know that there's like something up there that's very important because there's something cutscene like that you'll see coming up. As you see Koraidon going up, is this the gliding mode, and you could kind of see a zoomed out view of it, and of course like the farther you are, the more less graphic like it is. It's not the best quality, but I mean that's just how it is. When it's farther, it's just harder to see stuff because you could kind of see like a car on this side, and you can see how far it is with these trees, like the size proportions and whatever this thing is. I think that's a cave entrance. That's pretty cool. Who will you meet? And we already talked about Nimona and then Professor Sada and also Professor Turo. I don't think we had talked about this one, but this trainer is Penny, which in the leaks they had talked about it, and it's believed to be a rival. And well, the thing about Sword and Shield is we had multiple rivals that we fought multiple times. I don't know how I feel about Penny, because like when I saw the big house, I just kind of assumed that it was a rich trainer that's kind of snobby. I think honestly it's because that's what I'm hoping for. I really want a rival that feels like a rival and not just like a friend that just battles you a lot. I don't know, I just really miss like the Gary and Silver days of Pokemon. Let me take a look at Penny over here in the description. Penny's the same grade as you. She has a bit of a shy personality. For some reason, she doesn't seem to come to the academy very often. She is especially fond of her fluffy Eevee bag and always has it on her back. And that's pretty much it. So why is it that she's not going to school all that much? It's a possibility that she might be the daughter of whatever team leader it may be. Like she's probably serving, or maybe she's very much in the team herself, going out and like doing missions that she's supposed to be doing, but who knows. This guy right here, his name is Arvin. Arvin's an upperclassman at the academy. He's good at cooking and is researching healthy recipes that can help Pokemon feel better. He'll be asking you to help him out since he isn't good at Pokemon battles. I kind of wonder what his team would be, and I got really big vibes that this person in particular would be like if Ash eventually goes to Paldea and does his journey, that Arvin's very much going to be the Brock / Silent of the group. Like he's going to be taking care of all the Pokemon and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm almost certain he's going to join the group once the anime begins. That's the vibe I get pretty much. What will you achieve? And this guy right here, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw this person, I thought it was a female, but no, it's very much a male person. It just so happens that they have long hair and lashes and stuff like that. This is Grusha. Grusha used to be a professional snowboarder, but he is now the gym leader of the Glacado Gym full-time. He's an ice type specialist who has Titan as his partner. He's usually cool-headed, but when battles get heated, he starts showing the emotions he usually keeps pushed down. As you see, Grusha sends out his Pokemon as there's people watching this. This is Titan over here. Titan, Terra Whale Pokemon. He is an ice type Pokemon, 14-9 with 1,543.2 pounds. His ability is Thick Fat and Slush Rush. Oh, well, that changes some stuff. If it hails, he's gonna be twice as fast. I don't know if it would really matter because I don't think he'll like outspeed most Pokemon anyway, but yeah, that's pretty devastating. Strong muscles and thick blubber. Titan needs to have tough muscles to be able to support their immense bodies, and physical attacks use their bodies have incredible power. They also migrate around the snowy regions protected by a thick layer of subcutaneous fat. The horn on the upper jaw freezes the surroundings. A Titan has 5 hard horns. Among them, the horn on the upper jaw is able to gather ice energy, making the surrounding temperature extremely low and freezing the area around the Pokemon. Now, this is an interesting Pokemon. You might be thinking like, why is he in a Spain-based region? The thing is, it's based on a narwhal / whale, and with narwhals, back then, they would get hunted and like they would take away their horns and they would sell it for a profit on royalty for mostly like the royal Spanish family. There's a bit of people that in Spain that collected these things because they were considered very rare and very much worth buying. Like these horns that they kind of treat like staffs and like very much a royal property in their eyes. It's kind of interesting how Titan kind of moves like his mouth, because I didn't expect it to be like kind of upper and lower at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, but his mouth, it's a bit weird. As is attacking the Violet's trainer Talonflame, but this is what I'm talking about. In the background, you could see the gym that when I pointed out like 2 minutes ago or so, with the snowman on the side and the lamppost and the sails. This is outside the gym, so like eventually when you walk in the gym and battle all the trainers or whatever, Grusha eventually says, hey, let's battle out here or something. It's a bit interesting. I think more so the reason he wants to battle out there is so the people could see. People get pretty hyped for gym battles. And then this is the car right here that I mentioned with the shattered star thing. I'm almost certain this is supposed to be Scarlet. I just don't know what would be the opposite, like for Violet. If you see it out here, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe in Scarlet and Violet and you'll see the car anyway. I just kind of think it's interesting because you see all these speakers and the fire nos and everything, and like I said, it reminds me of the Bowser Casino stuff in 3D world. But yeah, it's interesting nonetheless. And while this car is driving by itself, you don't see a person actually driving the car. It's because they edited him out. Like they specifically took him out so you don't see what the evil team looks like. They just want you to pretty much think of who he is, or what they are rather. We see Nemona over here with you, and then we also see Arven just standing here in his Violet uniform. He looks so off, like he doesn't look like he belonged there. But for the academy, like any age could join the academy. There's no like children, adults, elderly people, it don't matter. They accept all in the academy. Who'll be your Pokemon? I don't remember what the last words are. I don't know. It's just weird texting. I don't think I would agree with this because I don't know. It looks weird. Anyway, we get this screen with the will be your Pokemon. So I guess they're talking about the starters. Sprigatito, Quaxly, or Fuecoco. Still let me know. And if you have predictions on their evolutions, again, just let me know about it and I will feature it in a future video. They showed us this thing that we already seen before, so I'm skipping that. It's like the whole Sprigatito and flowers, Fuecoco burning the apple, which we might have not seen, but the Quaxly with the hair sprinkle stuff we definitely have seen. Anyway, Journey Together with Sprigatito following you, I kind of like that. He's kind of like hopping around, and Fuecoco, the way he runs is kind of funny. But yeah, the Violet Trainer exiting the Scarlet place. Fuecoco running in the Scarlet Trainer in the canyon area. I'm not sure what this is. And Quaxley in this town. This might be the same town where there was like the Miraidon riding through the town or whatever. Because the buildings to the side look familiar, but there's the Pokemon Center right there. And this is for the multiplayer mode, because I really don't think there's multiple Miraidons and Koraidons everywhere. So this is like 2 Violet players along with 2 Scarlet players. All of them according to what their legendary Pokemon are, because you can see in their shorts, their colorations, and their vests and stuff. They're able to race and all that, learn together, with Scarlet player doing like a pose, just like, oh, I knew it. I'm not sure what that's about. And for the Pokédex, which is, I forgot to mention, one of the teachers I could actually talk about right now, or maybe I have mentioned it, but Jock, Mr. Jock is your homeroom teacher, and he teaches biology. He is very knowledgeable about Pokemon biology. He is a developer of the Pokédex app for the Rotom phone. He has slightly airheaded side to him, and he sometimes loses himself in his research. Yeah, because we have seen that guy before, but I guess it's fine to talk about him now, because we see the Pokédex floating right here, and this is something given from Jock. Like he wants you to find all the Pokemon and the variations and all that, so he's the one very much giving you the app of Rotom, you know, since there's smartphones and all, and this is basically it right here, is your phone with the new Rotom app, the Pokédex app. And I feel like this is one of the storylines right here. This is Arvin with you, the Scarlet player, going into a cave. The treasure hunt storyline, I want to say. Whatever the treasure hunt will be. But here's the Scarlet trainers looking at this crystallized tree almost. So it's a bit interesting. They're just looking at the phenomenon of terraforming or whatnot. So here's this person standing on the tower. It looks very cutscene-like. It says, grow together with all your Pokemon coming out. I don't know if you're just able to send them out, but I know that there is a camera mode for sure, because there's some screenshots of the person holding the camera, and you can kind of see his arm extending out, and they're taking their pictures, whatever they're behind them. So whether you're taking a picture of the building or just for Pokemon, I think you're able to, like, because it reminds me of what, like Sun and Moon, like there's certain places that you could get all your Pokemon out and take the picture. It could be very much that. I really do like the look of a lot of these Pokemon. There's Scizor and all that. Let's see. The Pokemon I haven't confirmed yet. Have I even confirmed Eevee yet? We already see Sylveon. So obviously all the evolutions are confirmed for this, along with Scyther and Scizor. Electros, so we see all the evolutions for that. I do believe we already... Oh no, never mind. We saw the sticker of that Pokemon, but well, she's confirmed for the game too, since we see all of these Pokemon together. So there we go. That was quite a few Pokemon sending out. But we see the Scarlet trainer throwing the Pokeball while there's like dry grassy area. You see the Pokemon Center with the antenna pointing out, and I think I see the tower. We don't exactly see who they're catching. I think it's a Fido, just because you can see a little bit of the frames before in this dry grass land with the tower in the background. There's Noibat. I'm really excited for that, which means Wyvern's in the game, and the way the video's playing, this is actually an evolution on field, so I'm not really sure if this is a cutscene, considering like the Violet trainer is like bonding with its Pokemon. So I'm not totally sure if that's just how the trainer is, because the way the Violet trainer is like nodding his head, and the way the Wyvern is also doing that, kind of reminds me of how Koraidon and Miraidon was like closing their eyes and trying to bond with it. So maybe that's just how the trainer likes to connect with their Pokemon. So it's a bit interesting. This could be just how every evolution is, or it could be just a cutscene by itself. I don't know, or both, because like since after the evolution the trainer does this anyway, so it'd be considered a cutscene. I don't know. Besides the point, the Violet trainer surprise trading with 2 different Pokemon from the opposite games, because there is a version exclusive Pokemon like every other game, because there's Stonegenners and Ice-Q, and yeah, it's confirmed that Ice-Q's in the game, so there you go. It's in Violet, so if you want to trade from Violet to Scarlet, then there you go. We see Scizor fighting here against a Golduck in this grassy area. I really like the pillars, kind of looks like chess pieces. That looks really dope. Hydreigon shooting over here, so that means that the whole pre-evolutions are in the game, fighting against this Hariyama. Did I ever confirm Hariyama in the game? Because like, yeah, that means Makuhita is also in there too. Find something to treasure. Thanks Violet Crevel, or whatever your name is, Crevel. So this is the new mechanic, and I was semi-right. I was semi-right about this, just only a little bit. because I mentioned before that there's this crystal thing on the wall, and that because of that, with the Pokeball on the battlefield, I thought since all the colors are in there, it's trying to represent all the typings. I was somewhat right, because with this, you can see the trainer summoning some mysterious power into this crystal ball. It becomes fully terrestrialized, and the example used here is Persian, with the same exact logo as you saw on the wall. It's covered in crystals and all that, and it becomes this with this outer shell of crystal along with whatever typing of hat is wearing, pretty much. As you see here, Persian all crystallized, Azumarill all crystallized, Drifblim all crystallized, Lilligant all crystallized, with this respective typings it's wearing. For the Lilligant, of course, the grassy terrestrialized form, with the Drifblim, the flying type terrestrialized form, and Azumarill with this water terrestrialized form, and of course Persian with this normal terrestrialized form. I feel like they could have showed the example a little bit better, because they do an example later. I'll say it once we get there, but that's what it is. And then there's Dragonite with this fire terrestrialized form, and then I believe this part right here when he's opening his eyes is the Violet trainer. And this is the very first cutscene of what he's seeing the spectacle for the first time. And then there's the two Scarlet trainers and the Violet trainers in, I believe, a raid battle, and you could kind of see like reflections on the wall because they're fighting the Dragonite, the fire type Dragonite. So I guess this is a lot better of an example. So there's Clawitzer on the side, Slowking, and Lumineon on the side. So obviously with Dragonite with the fire terrestrialized form, I might as well say it here and now that there's certain Pokemon that you could find with certain Terra forms, because they're all kind of, basically it works just like hidden power. You catch the Pokemon and then you find out what hidden power it will have. And it's kind of interesting now that I think about it. There could be a theory of it where, like, maybe they'll separate hidden power with what the terraform is, but with hidden power, you know, with like, oh, it's hidden power grass or something, would it be grass terraform? But either way, it pretty much works like hidden power, except the difference is it's offensive and defensive, because it completely changes your own type. I just don't know if it adds a type, I really doubt it, but it might replace a type or change it entirely, which you will see. So for example, like this Slowking right here, we see that it has the water terrestrialized form, but you could find a Slowking that might also have a grass terrestrialized form, and then it might be like grass psychic from now on, or just exclusively grass. It could be that. And there's certain Pokemon when it comes to these raid battles that have a terraform that is probably well worth it, because let's say for example, I mean they do a better example later about that subject alone. More likely or not for these raid battles, the reason that Dragonite might be fire type is because in case he's fighting like a fairy or ice type, if the Titan decides to do like a icicle crash or something like that, when Dragonite becomes this fire terrestrialized form, he's gonna endure it, and now it's gonna resist the damage, and then he could hit back with this Terra move, which would be fire type. So that's what I mean about offense and defense. So there's reasons for why these raid battles, like they kind of do it specifically because they know that this would work for that Pokemon. So I don't know about the other ones, like if you could find a fire Dratini terraform anyway, but for these raid battles, they're very much the ones that are worth competitively, of course. And at some point with this raid battle, if you attack it enough, he will revert back to a normal Dragonite. But don't worry, he still has the terraform of fire, so if you end up catching it, you could use that again. The thing about terraforming is that you could only do it once per battle. Once you use it, you have to go return back to the crystals to recharge that power, or you could go to the Pokemon Center. But yeah, the Scarlet trainer throws the Pokeball and ends up catching the Dragonite, and this is a special Terra Ball, and for some reason it cuts to Koraidon and Miraidon kind of opening their eyes all action-y like. It's because their forms are changing, because you kind of see that their arms and legs and tails all changing form, and I believe this is the cutscene where they're showing that you could actually ride them pretty much, and the trainer's like, oh, what the heck? So yeah, the Scarlet girl and the Violet boy right here, and plus you could kind of see their guild kind of popping out more. Yeah, especially with Koraidon. Let the treasure hunt begin, and you have a better look at the four teachers right here, with the lady at the Hariyama, that's the PE teacher I believe. I don't see Jock anywhere, where the hell is he? This could be the other three. Because here's another theory that I have, with Clavel and these other four teachers that they haven't really named yet. You know how I mentioned that this place could easily be the Pokemon League, and you know, it turns out that this cathedral is basically an academy? It could also be a Pokemon League though. Like once you have the 8 badges and you come back here, like this is enough for the Elite 4 and the champion, or for the champion rank or whatever, for you to battle them, because they did mention about a champion assessment test, and then you go to the champion rank. So maybe after this whole Elite 4 champion thing, it's kind of a mini thing, because the bigger thing to go to is when the champion rank, you actually see other champions from other regions like Cynthia or Iris or something like that, and that's pretty exciting for it to happen, that you're able to battle all these other trainers from the regions. So that'd be kind of cool, a champions tournament to determine the world champion. That's pretty exciting thing to think about it, I would say so myself. Let the treasure hunt begin. I didn't let it fully go. So that is the end of the video and the end of the screenshots, or I would say that, but I forgot a couple of things, so I'll just get that out of the way here and now, because I do say it in the original recording but very later on. But yeah, let's just do this right here just to get that out the way. So yeah, Azumarill was a screenshot, that Pokemon that I never really confirmed, did I? So yeah, I'll just confirm Azumarill here now. There's Azurill, Marill, and Azumarill confirmed in the game, along with this other screenshot right here that there's the Lumineon, Slowking, and Cloudster fighting the Dragonite. I never confirmed Lumineon, so Finneon and Lumineon is in the game, and then Slowking I never really confirmed either. So yeah, Slowpoke, Slowbro, and Slowking are confirmed in the game as well. The only other thing that I hadn't mentioned is Grusha. It was actually part of the leaks, like you can see a blurry picture of Grusha right here along with other gym leaders. Later in the trailers you may or may not see some brand new gym leaders. I mean, you would think that you would, so this is like a hint, nudge, nudge, that you might see a recognizable face in these blurry pictures already. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the end of the video. The next ones I'm gonna be trying to catch up. Like I said, I've been doubling up. I've been doing like normal uploads and then the Scarlet and Violet breakdown videos. I'll soon catch up. I know there's a new trailer that came out somewhat not too long ago, so I'll try to catch up and do my darnest. I'm not that far off as you think. I'm only like a whole 3 videos away. I don't know. White Dragons and Dragons to you, and you've been scarred by the night. I'm out.